Charlie was the closest thing I ever had to a brother. I lived with him and Gail for nearly 10 years. Bought property here together. Charlie and I were ironworking partners. We did structural ironwork on the iron range from Keewatin all the way up to Virginia. And when you're in an ironworking partnership, you're kind of looking out for each other. Those are the kind of things you do. And you know, Charlie was always, he wasn't one to criticize or even to tell you what to do. In fact, he was kind of like Mr. Spock on Star Trek, logical, believed in self-sufficiency, figured you could do the same thing. Yeah. Well, one time, I just want to say very briefly to illustrate this aspect of his personality. We had been working on this iron range building, and there was a beam about 20 feet long, and my job was to just kind of crawl out there with an acetylene torch and cut off a big hole out of this beam. And Charlie was standing on a platform like this, sort of feeding the hose. What? Yeah. So Charlie was standing on the platform feeding me the hose with another guy, and they were kind of chatting, and I was laying on this beam, cutting, you know, goggles down, very intent on what I'm doing, and I can hear Charlie and this guy kind of laughing, and I can hear them sort of mumbling around, and they say fire, and you know, I listen to a little, and they go fire, and I go, what? And I look up, and I said, what are you guys talking about? He said, well, you know. I said, did you say fire? I said, yeah. I said, where? He said, your leg. My whole coverall leg was, you know, in flames, but Charlie didn't figure there was no need to panic. You know? It was under control. Anybody here have that kind of experience with him? Yeah. Okay. Tom talked about how well Charlie could fly in free fall. Well, he could fly pretty well, but he didn't always stop as well as he should. 3 times he flew through somebody else's open canopy and survived. That's really odd part. So, anyways, well, the story I was asked to tell was about Colorado. And in Telluride, Colorado, I think Charlie and I and Dave Witt drove out to Telluride, and there we met up with Tom and Jeannie and Jane, were you there? Yeah, Dave Wallace. And this is March 74, I think. And I had spent the previous summer living not very far away, about 100 miles over the mountains in the Wiminuche Wilderness, which was at 9,600 feet. Gail was there with me. And we lived there for a whole summer. And into the wilderness, there was a very big mountain called the Rio Grande Pyramid. It's the headwaters of the Rio Grande River. And it's very pyramid-shaped, and it stands very nearly 14,000 feet high. And so we got the brilliant idea to, well, let's just drive over there and take out our cross-country skis and pack some food and climb the Rio Grande Pyramid in the middle of the winter. And we were well prepared, you know, we had lots of wool, and we had lots of supplies, and we had everything we needed, you know, to go up and make a 2 or 3 day sort of expedition. And first day, Charlie and Dave Wallace were always in the lead. Always in the lead. Those guys had something to keep up with. And we got to at the end of the first day, we got to a big ridge line, which was just a couple of 100 feet below the tree line. And we thought, well, we'll stop here. And it looked over this huge valley that we'd just come up. And we said, well, let's put up the tents. And so Charlie and Dave said, oh yeah, let's put them right here, right on the edge of this precipice, so we can look out, wake up in the morning and look at the sunrise over this canyon, you know. I said, nah, I think we'd be better off to go into the trees. No, this would be really cool. So I convinced Tom Carlson and I, we went off 50, 75 yards into a little bit of shelter and put up our tent. we had walkie-talkies so we could keep in touch. The next morning we woke up, it had been bluebird skies until the next morning, and it was snowing to beat the band. Snowing to beat the band. So Charlie and Dave said, let's go, you know, and Tom and I said, by all means, let's hit it. So we packed up and we started skiing up the mountain. We'd gone maybe a mile, mile and a half, and I'm just saying, this is kind of ridiculous. You know, we're not going to get to the Rio Grande Pyramid. We may not even get back out of here the way it's snowing. You know, I've lived in these mountains, you know. Well, okay, you can go back and we'll catch up to you in a bit. We're going to see how far we can go. Then I'm back in the tent and I've got a radio with me, and then Tom Carlson radios in. He says, yep, I think you're right, I'm headed back. And so he follows my tracks. Meanwhile, Charlie and Dave just keep on trucking. Tom and I are back at the tent, and we spent several hours like cutting evergreen boughs and trying to build snow fences around our, you know, because this is a big storm. And meanwhile, these guys are in a whiteout along the ridge going up there, and they finally decide that since they can no longer see where they're going, they're going to turn around, and they come back. So they did. And we sat in those tents for 3 nights while this incredible snowstorm came down. We were at over 10,000 feet, and the snow was piling up, and Charlie started taking note of the fact that because they're out on the ridge, see, they have a little more problem than we do. Quite a bit. You know, it's like probably 50 miles an hour more wind out there for 3 nights. And it was rare, but you could hear Charlie's nervousness in the radio. Like, well, how you guys doing? Oh, we're okay, okay. Well, kind of running out of fuel here, and the condensation's got all of our stuff wet. I think we're going to have to get out of here. We're not going to make it another night. We were seriously scared. So we broke the next morning. But and we went down out of that. But that's the kind of adventure Charlie liked to take you on. So if you follow Charlie somewhere, you better be prepared to take care of yourself. It was always that way. He would always take care of you in a moment, but not until that last moment. It's a real privilege to be here. Nice to see all of you again.